Hi. Haven't done a live in a while, but I have good Wi-Fi at my cousin's house, so thought I would come on. I love paid to exist. That's so awesome. It's totally possible. I was supposed to have an interview for a podcast for my podcast, but she canceled, so I came on here instead. So I am a certified professional coach, so it doesn't have to be questions about van life. You can ask me questions about your life if you want. I'm from Florida, but currently I'm in Wyoming. Thank you. So for breakfast, I had a homemade what's called a Brötchen. It's German for roll, um, with sunflower seeds in it and a slice of aged Gouda cheese. No, I don't live here. This is my cousin's house. And I'm here waiting on a kayak that I ordered that's coming in the mail tomorrow, or coming via FedEx to his house tomorrow. I'm ready to go kayaking on probably Saturday. I haven't been this excited about anything since I realized I was going to get a van. No, I have no intention on getting married again. No, I don't come. Nein, ich komme nicht aus Deutschland, aber ich habe Familie aus Deutschland. Yeah, I didn't know that I loved kayaking. I had been several times in Florida, but it was always with some dusty dude, whether it was my ex-husband or a boyfriend or a roommate. Or I went in the freezing cold in South Africa. And the thing is, when you're drenched in sweat and you're miserable, you don't really feel like you belong in nature. You feel like nature is trying to kick you out. So I had always thought of myself as not really a nature person because I just didn't enjoy my experiences in the hot, stinky humidity of Florida. So I had maybe labeled myself as not a kayaking person. But then I went here in Wyoming in this little place near Buffalo called Tyhack. It's in the National Forest and it's a little reservoir. It's Tyhack Reservoir, and it's a reservoir of melted snow from the Bighorn Mountains. Hi, Sabina. She's from Germany. Yes, I do speak German. I haven't been there in 16 years, so my German is not so good, but I am going to be posting I was on RTL not too long ago over the summer, and I was in an exclusive clip on RTL in Germany. And that was really cool. They were talking about how I moved out of my house and into the van. I accidentally put the number 4 in the chat. Sorry. This is only my second time going live on Instagram. Hi, Paul. You know, I used to play video games. Somebody asked, do I play video games? I used to play video games. I am a fan of Nintendo, so I used to have a Nintendo Switch. But now it's at my house in Florida. We're going to be using it in the rental. So, yeah, I bought a life jacket too for my kayak. Somebody asked if I bought a life jacket. Yeah, for sure. No, I'm not currently dating right now. I'm just not interested. I am not interested. I did not know I could have this much fun by myself. And visiting my friends and just being alone. Like today, I'm in my cousin's house alone. He's on a train ride. He works for the railroad. And my cousin's wife's a teacher, so she's at school. And their youngest daughter's 18. She has a full-time job, so she comes home for lunch. So she'll probably be home a little after noon. Nope, I do not live in Tampa. I'm 37. I have a home in Winter Park. So I lived in Winter Park for a while, but I never lived in Tampa. yeah, so I'm just having so much fun being by myself that dating is inconvenient. And until I meet someone who offers me as much as I offer myself, until I meet someone who doesn't just take from me, because that's been the history that I've experienced, is men just want to be entertained. They want to benefit from having feminine energy in their life, but they don't offer anything in return. They just take. And that's not anything I'm interested in. So it's draining. It's draining. Like, they expect you to be who they want you to be, and when you're not, they ignore you or they withdraw their affection, and it's just, you just feel like a freaking puppet. Yes, I am a millionaire, a multimillionaire. Living the dream. It didn't come without a cost, though. Not a cost that I would pay again, given the choice, and I do have a choice. Like with my coaching practice, I'm not trying to scale it up indefinitely. It's a totally different type of, if you can even call it a business. It's just, I take what comes. Tips for becoming financial, I think you mean financially free. Okay, I'll combine that with what John asked. Best advice you can give a young person trying to make more of their lives money-wise. Learn skills, right? A lot of people think that money comes from getting a job. That's somebody else giving you money, giving you a place in their place of business. And you can learn skills in a job, but if you learn skills that you can independently offer to other people, you're always going to have a way to make money. And wealth isn't money, it's value, right? And so you've got to get the value that's in here out, and you can always put more value in by the skills that you learn, the experiences that you have. Because everything that we consider wealth was once just a figment of someone's imagination, right? Every piece of real estate. I guess it's not necessarily true for everything, because you think about like gold and silver, but that's a little bit different. My best moment of joyful enlightenment was a moment laying on the ground and looking at a sunbeam through the trees. Yeah, that's peace. That's connecting you to the nature that we are, right? I think when people say I'm not a nature person, that's silly to me, because everybody is a nature person. We are a part of nature, but our society can just conditions us to be separate from nature, when that's exactly what makes us feel our best. And that's why I'm so excited about getting my kayak, because I have my own little boat and I can go in places. There's places on my list that I just didn't even know existed, and places I wouldn't be able to even access without a little boat, and I love being near the water. This is just opening up a whole new world for me. Do we need to work very hard to become a successful person? It depends on what you think of as working hard. Do you need to burn out to be successful? No. Can you be successful and burn out? Yes. I know, because I did it. It didn't have to be that way. I look back and it didn't have to be as exhausting as it was. It didn't have to be like exhausting and draining is, I guess, the word I'm trying to think of. It didn't have to be as stressful, I think I created a lot of that stress. Yeah, I'm in the mountains. Well, kind of. I'm in the plains right now, but when I went kayaking, I was in the mountains, so. Yeah, I'm a mountain and water person. I'm more of like a mountain and lake person, not so much rivers. Hi, Flynn. I'm getting itchy feet though. I wouldn't be here still if I had gotten my kayak already, but I decided it was worth it to wait to get the kayak that I wanted. I'm a Pisces, water sign. So, Yeah, I mean, I was looking at in like REI stores in Jackson and stuff to see if they had the kayak that I wanted, but they didn't. So I decided I was just gonna order the one I wanted and stick it out. And it was fine. I've been able to get some stuff done here that I couldn't do otherwise. Why would you want to impress me? Somebody's asking, what do I have to do to impress me? I don't need you to impress me. That's just, don't waste your time. There's no need. Hi, Nick. My friend Nick is on. Soon to be van lifer. I like to think of myself as a fun-loving person in real life. Yeah. Me and my friend Nick, who I don't know if he's still on, but um, he's hung out with me before. He's on Nick Therapy. I think of myself as a fun-loving person. Absolutely. I like to have time by myself too. Like today, I'm really enjoying not having anybody in the house. I'm still sleeping in my van, like I'm in my cousin's driveway, but when I'm in a place it's going to be a week tomorrow that I've been here, I start to get itchy feet. I want to travel again. No, Nick worked in physical therapy. What do I do for a living? So I'm semi-retired in that I don't really work. I have an assistant who takes care of my real estate and checks my mail and stuff. So I have real estate that is kind of semi-passive income. And I have a coaching practice as well, but I consider myself unemployed. No, I have no pets. I had 4 cats and I rehomed them. I didn't even let my cats sleep in my bed, so they definitely wouldn't have been allowed in my van. They wouldn't be happy in there either, especially not 4 of them. I've never actually been to India. I'd like to go one day. Yeah, it's like 4 cats. Can you imagine me being in a van with 4 cats and they want to be outside and they don't want to be cooped up in the van all the time? I'd have to get like special equipment, and they had a giant litter box. There's just no space. I had the van custom built just for me. So, yes, I've traveled outside the US a lot, actually more than I've traveled in the US. Until van life is over, then I will probably say that I have traveled more in the US than in Europe, but I've lived in Europe. I lived all over South America. I lived in Europe twice, once in Germany, once in Amsterdam. Um, and then all over South America. So I used to teach, somebody asked, do I teach something like some skills? I used to teach proofreading, and that website still exists, but I sold it. That's the business that I sold. All my properties are in Florida, JB. I have 4 properties. They're all in Florida, in the Central Florida area. Never been to Indiana. I think I'll be in the van for at least another year, if not year and a half, possibly 2 years, for a total of 3 years. And then I see myself, I really like the idea of like coastal forests, someplace where I'm close to water, but also close to forests. But then I might keep my van anyway and, do some trips in it or maybe rent it out or something to other single ladies. I just love the adventure. Like right now, the idea of just being in a house and staying in one place, and especially now that I'm getting the kayaking in the same places, I want to have my kayak with me in the van and just be able to go. I was looking in, there's this place in Idaho called Blue Hearts Spring, and it is only accessible by kayak. It is the most beautiful place I've ever seen, and I cannot wait to go there. I don't know when I'll get there, but I only have residential property. Yeah, I thought about shipping my van overseas somewhere, but it would just take way too long to do that, and I just don't think it's going to be very hospitable to campers. And I know in Germany it's the same way because I thought about living in Germany for a while and brushing up on my German because it's been 16 years. um, so yeah, I'm excited to be down in the Baja though, in the Baja Peninsula in Mexico. I'm going to be down there for quite some time. Yeah, inside four walls totally sucks. Being in a place that's not mine is okay, like visiting other people, but I got the feeling this morning, or started to get it yesterday, after about 5 days in one place. I'm like, I gotta go, I gotta go. So I start thinking to myself and singing to myself, we gotta get out of this place. If you know that song, I don't even know who sings it. I don't know any other words. But that song comes to mind, and I'm like, man, I gotta get out of here. I love going day by day, doing whatever the heck I want, and it is just the ultimate freedom. Somebody asked me yesterday if I ever considered selling all of my properties, but as long as they're making me money, no, I'm not going to sell them because it's just the easiest way they're paying for themselves and making a profit. And I think it might be interesting to collect all my receipts for a month and see how much I actually spend in a month. So on campgrounds, gas, groceries, eating out at restaurants, activities, things that I pay for, like I went to this really cool place in South Dakota called Cosmos Mystery Area, and it's this gravitational anomaly place where the houses are built crooked and you're just like being pulled towards this gravitational. It's wild. It's just so cool. And there's another place in California that's like that I want to visit. I just happened to find it on a map today. I wasn't even looking for it. And yeah, just going day by day. No, I'm not in any type of van dwelling community. I've been to a couple van shows down in Florida. I have not slept by any rivers that I recall. I've slept by the Gulf. I've slept on Lake Superior, which is awesome. A couple of ponds, but I can't think of, and a couple of lakes, but I can't think of ever in a time that I've been by a river. Something I saw out in California, I was just looking at Zillow, I was curious, and like near, I guess, north of Sonoma in the Redwood area, I found this piece of property that used to be a medical building, and it could be zoned residential and commercial. Like 80% residential, 20% commercial, but it could be turned into like I don't know, like a commune, because there's like only one bathroom area. You'd have to turn it into like a kitchen, but the medical rooms are maybe, it's like less than 10 by 10 each room. So it would have to be like a dorm style place. Yeah, so if you've got properties in three countries and you need to have somebody else to manage it for you, that's the key. Because if I had to do all the management myself, I would not like it. Yeah. Most people would live in a van to save money in expensive locations, and you do. You do. Like, you're going to pay less money to stay at a campground or boondock someplace than you would paying for a hotel room. Like, I stayed overnight in the streets of New Orleans for 2 nights for free. No, I don't live in California, at least not yet, but I'm really liking the idea of, because they've got coastal forests, and it kind of really calls to me. And I haven't even really been there. I've been there like on a hike once when I was maybe, oh, I want to say like 2012 or 2013. I went out to California and I was in Sonoma and we were at the Big Bend, not Big Bend. What's that state park? Big Basin. Big Basin. And I was hiking out there, and just being around the redwoods is amazing. And if there's lakes and rivers and you're close to the beach all at the same time, that's like amazing for a water girl like me. I just love being in the water. I don't love real estate that much, so I'm probably not going to start another website. Yeah, I don't think Florida would be a bad place to invest. Hold on, I'm just checking my text messages. Oh, I forgot I'm not on Do Not Disturb, so everything's coming through is important right now. Yeah, I like the idea of having a bigger piece of land where people, like what Nick was saying, having just wanderers come and stay. And I did find like an off-grid property, but it didn't have a lot of land. It was just like a cabin. It's been on the market for a while. I don't know if there's something wrong with it, or if people are just, it takes the right kind of person to want to live off grid. But I think if you've been living in a van for a while, it probably feels a lot easier. But the whole place had like a garden on it. I like to go hiking. It was funny, before I started kayaking, I was mostly into hiking. And when I say hiking, it's like not really rigorous hiking. Although the last time I went was this past Friday, and it was about an hour and 15 minutes. It was pretty rigorous. Like, it was uphill, but it wasn't too hot. I tend to prefer leisurely walks in the woods. I do work out. I wouldn't say I work out super regularly. Like, my hiking and kayaking kind of counts as workouts, but I do go to the gym, and I subscribe to some fitness like streaming websites. Never been in a drift car. Some of you guys' questions are crazy. When I was a kid, I don't even know if I could say I ever really liked horse riding, but my parents got us riding lessons. We were in second grade, so I've done some. It's just definitely not something that calls to me. I'm not like, I have to go ride a horse, I'd rather sit in my little boat. I feel like, yeah, Northern California. Arizona, although that's too deserty. It depends. I don't know. I'm kind of just starting to think about it. I've bought some land north of Atlanta in the mountains. I'm 37. And it's too far. I don't know. I have friends there, but I'm kind of wondering if I might like someplace in California better. Just the idea of being around these gigantic trees just feels so healing, and it's like a happy place in there. I don't know what county it is. I was looking in Boulder Creek, Fenton, I think. Fenton area. That's kind of where I was looking. I asked ChatGPT, if I'm looking for a place in the coastal forest that's close to really nice places to kayak, where would I want to live in California? And they listed some stuff, and then I started looking online. Anastasia has over 15,000 miles on her now, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that's just because I didn't leave Florida officially. I stayed pretty close to home because I had all these van shows that I was going to, and then I was on staycation. Then I went on a cruise. So I had other stuff that was going on. I didn't travel like as long of a distance. So I went up to Tennessee, and then I went to North Carolina, and then over to New Orleans, and I went over to Houston. Then I came all the way back to Florida, and then I really kind of stayed home, except going up to North Carolina and Georgia a few times until about 2 months ago. And then I left, and I'm all the way in Wyoming. I have no intention on coming back to Florida for any time soon. I love living in my van. I'm in my cousin's house now, so it's nice to spread out a little bit. It's nice to have Wi-Fi that I don't have to set my Starlink up for. How do you get into the kind of mindset to travel this way? Well, I had to realize that I was working for my house instead of the house working for me. So I was living in this, I actually looked it up on Zillow now. It's worth over $2.2 million now, that it keeps going up in value. And I keep doing stuff to it, so it's probably worth more than what Zillow thinks. Plus it's income generating, so I feel like that increases its value. If I can help it, which I can, I am never going to sell that house because I really love that house and it serves a great purpose. It's just a cool place. But I was living in it alone, and I felt a lot of pressure to pay, either to stay there or to figure out a way to generate more income so I could afford to pay for it without like dipping into my nest egg, my investment portfolio after selling my company. I was like, I don't want to just have this house slowly drain my coffers, so to speak. And I was repeating affirmations one day. I was like, I'm surrounded by money, I'm surrounded by opportunity, blah, blah, blah. And I started taking that seriously. I was like, wait a second. I was in my bedroom where my office was because I didn't want to have a separate office. I just liked having everything compact, which is funny because now I'm in the van and everything's very compact. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, why am I working my ass off to try to make something happen so I could pay for this house when I could make this house pay for me? And now it is. Yeah, I've only been on live here one other time. I used to go on TikTok more often, but and I might go on TikTok later today. Yeah, that's right, Nick. She's just getting broken in. Cool. Yeah, friends out there. Yeah, my ex-sister-in-law lives, or my ex-sister-in-law lives out in California, I think, still. Unless she moved back to Florida, I haven't like kept up with her or anything. Yeah, I love living in a van. I mean, my van is great though. It has a dishwasher, a shower, a heat, like a water heater, has everything you need. It feels like a tiny home, and it is a tiny home. So it's really, I mean, I'm happier in that house, that little tiny house, than I've been in my, you know, I call it a mini mansion because it's a custom home and it's worth a lot of money. Somebody on my Instagram I guess a week or so ago, she was like, because in my viral video, which is maybe how a lot of you guys found me, this woman was like, it's not a 4,000 square feet, it's not a mini mansion. It's not about the square footage. It's about the level of customization and features and the overall value of the house that makes it a mini mansion. So like fully custom, like from the ground up, interior design, it's worth over $2 million. I was like, okay, what do you want me to say? It's just a house. Happy now? People get bitter. I think people just get triggered. Enjoy it, Flaco Blanco. You can be Single as long as you want. There's nothing wrong with being single. I thought there was something wrong with being single for a long time, but I have seen enough videos of people who are regretting getting married and also videos of people who regret having kids that I'm like, man, I'm not missing out on anything. I'm not missing out on anything. Because I just don't think that just because you can have kids doesn't mean you should or have to. Like, just, especially if you don't want to. I think we're all put here for a purpose, and you can be fruitful without multiplying. So, you not talking about the van. No, not necessarily. I can talk whatever I want to talk about. It's an ask me anything. I do love my van though. She needs a bath. I need to give her a bath, but at the same time, I'm like, she's gonna get dirty again. So what's the point? Although if I had that same mentality for me, like, why bother showering? I'm just gonna be dirty again. But with a van, it's different. Nope, I have no kids and no intention. I am fulfilling my purpose. I absolutely feel that way. What do you want to know about the van, Matthew? Ask questions. I do feel like I'm fulfilling my purpose, and I don't feel, I used to feel rushed, like I gotta be someplace, I gotta be doing something different, but now I don't feel that way. I'm just kind of living my life the way that I'm doing, and I'm sharing it with people, and I'm sharing what I'm learning with people, and I'm interviewing interesting people on my podcast, and I'm hosting my retreats and working with clients when they come my way. It's just, I'm not forcing any of it. It's just happening in a very leisurely pace, and that's it. So I bought an empty cargo van and I hired a builder to turn it into a house, and we custom designed it together. I like teal. Teal and purple, dark purple specifically, are my favorite colors. How long have you been doing van life and where have you been in it? Great question. I got my van in August of last year, so I've had my van for over a year. However, I've only really been out on the road away from my home state of Florida for about 2 months and some change. And it's been amazing. Like, I finally feel like I'm doing it. I'm not just like in training, while I was still kind of in and around the Florida area because I was attending events and doing some filming for different projects. I decided to stay around town. And so I did some things with friends. I got to visit people and all that, and it was like a slow goodbye in a way. But I've been up to Tennessee. I spent significant time in Tennessee, Louisiana, Texas, North Carolina, not so much South Carolina, a lot of time in North Georgia in the mountains. Michigan, did the Upper Peninsula, pretty significant time spent there. I went into Ontario for a little bit. Then went back to Michigan, through Minnesota, South Dakota, and now I'm in Wyoming. And my next stop is, I'm going to finish going through Wyoming into Idaho and then over into Oregon. I don't know if I'm going to go up to Washington yet. I don't know. I might save that for another trip. It just seems like I might want to go south, depending, because it's already like 50 degrees for the high right now, and we're getting into September. So I've kind of missed summer for going that far north. So I might just kind of hang out in Oregon and then go into Northern California and slowly start making my way down, because I have a goal to be in Baja in Mexico, the southern tip of Baja, by November. So like sometime in November. I'd like to be across the border before election day. Yeah, I would absolutely, Ali Mustafa. You said at least you live your life according to yourself. Being single is better than married, because if you get a toxic person in your life, it'll ruin your emotions and your life. Yeah, absolutely. It's way better to be single than be married to a shitty person. Or just somebody that, expects something from you that you just can't give them, and that you, like, when I was married, I had to constantly slow myself down and be somebody I wasn't, to make them comfortable. I prefer van life right now. Okay, Matthew, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I've been around I've been around the country, and I I'd like to go to Colorado as well, but that'll probably be in the next summer because it's going to start getting cold and I want to make my way down to Mexico and not have to rush. So, yeah. Yeah, so if you go to my link tree in my Instagram profile, there is a link to my Substack where I kind of write about van life, but I also have a YouTube channel where I've made some videos. And then sometimes I'll make stories on Instagram. What country to buy land? I haven't really thought about buying land outside of the United States. Maybe Costa Rica. Yeah, I mean, if I come across, and I think maybe the reason I haven't thought about, like, thought more seriously about wanting kids is that to me, having a family would require having a qualified partner, and until I find one of those, like, I need a king. A king, if I consider myself a queen to be a queen, and I want a king. And until I find one that's just like it makes sense to me to have a family with, it's just not even going to be a figment in my imagination. It's just not even going to be a possibility. I'm certainly not going to, out of any kind of desperation, force it to happen. I think a lot of people just want kids or think they want kids so bad because of what they think it's going to do for them that they will have kids with the wrong person. And that's a terrible idea. That's not what I want to do. And I'm so grateful that I didn't have kids with my ex-husband just because we were under some pressure. Like his mom and dad really, his mom especially, really wanted to be a grandma. And yeah. When was the last time you dated a guy? So I actually just blocked my ex that I met in January of 2022. He was probably the longest relationship that I'd had since I got divorced, which was in 2019. So, but he was not, it was just he even told me, he's like, I find you fascinating and I just find your whole life fascinating. So if it's okay, can we stay in touch? This is after we'd broken up twice already. And I was like, well, that sounds nice enough. But now I understand he was just like, if somebody finds you entertaining, they're just using you and they want your attention because it makes them feel good. So he would just like, he just wanted to use me even if we weren't together, and I finally blocked him out of love for myself because I just didn't want that to keep happening. I didn't want to keep getting sucked in. No, I didn't do porn. Are you kidding me? That's a dumb question. Get out of here. I'm in Wyoming right now. Nope, not possible chat. I don't come on here to meet guys or dusties. Yes, I have dated out of my race. Yeah, and if I ever have a family, like you bet your bottom dollar, I'm gonna have help. I'm not doing it all myself. Like if I'm a stay-at-home mom, I'm still gonna have a nanny. I'm still gonna have a cleaner because I'm gonna make time for me. I don't want to be a full-time mom. Like I'd be a full-time mom, obviously, but I don't want to have to do all the work that goes with it. Like I want to be able to have my best hours spent with the kids, not doing dishes, laundry, cleaning up barf, cleaning bathrooms and all that shit. Excuse my French. I think that there's a lot of martyr mom energy out there in that they're like, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. And then a lot of men expect if their wives are stay-at-home moms that they should just do all the housework too. I don't believe that. Where do you find yourself in the future or 20 years from now? The coastal forest comes to mind, just settled in a cool place that is peaceful. I don't know. It's hard to think. I don't know because 20 years ago, I think where I was 17. I was a junior in college or high school, and I was German club president. I was traveling abroad for the first time by myself, and I never would have imagined that I would be here now doing what I'm doing. Never would have imagined. So there's probably things in the future, 20 years from now, that I just cannot even fathom, that are going to be real for me. Yeah, no, seriously, there's a lot of Dusties. I'm a little behind on comments. Yes, I have a YouTube account. It's in my link tree. That's incorrect. Strong wife can do all things at once, but the weak one doesn't. That's not true. I think a strong wife is smart, and she doesn't burn herself out. She takes time for herself. Yes, I love to cook. I'm cooking for my family tonight, my cousins. Actually, only my cousin's wife is going to be home. And then their 18-year-old daughter. I'm making like a pasta dish. I made lentil and potato tacos a couple nights ago. No, I really would probably only need one person. Like I have Renee. I guess she started out as my personal assistant, but now she helps me manage my properties. But she will fax things for me, send things in the mail, check my mail, let me know, like write checks, make sure the houses are taken care of, gets a plumber out if we need one, deals with the guests that we have in the Airbnbs. And it's really like only one person part-time, to come in and do the housework part. No, I'm not a vegan, but I prefer to eat that way. No, I will not be watching the DNC. Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know you were a PA student, TC. Yeah, that's awesome. I don't know if you know this, but I don't own it anymore. I haven't owned it in almost 2 years. I sold it in October 2022. It'll be 10 years in November that I started it, though, which is kind of exciting to see. Like when I started Proof Anywhere, I had a skill, and I was like, let me teach other people how to do this skill. I had no idea that it would turn into what it became, that it would set me free in the ways. I mean, and it wasn't even the thing that I was super passionate about. It was just the thing that I was good at. And you just kind of have to work with what you've got and then be curious and allow it to evolve. So when you started this journey and what happened at major points of life and what was your age? I'm not sure I understand the question. When did you start this journey? August of last year is when I got the van. I don't eat fish. I'm not too big on steak, but I will eat that from time to time. Fish is just it's too big of a risk. Any kind of seafood is too big of a risk for heavy metals. So when you say how you want to get married if you don't want to do anything, who said I didn't want to do anything? Just because I don't want to do housework doesn't mean I don't want to do anything. There's a lot more out there besides housework that women can do. This might be news to you. I do not drink. No. I am sober. I think Nick Vancher is sober too. If he's still on here, he's on his own sober life journey now. We both I think that's one way that we became friends too, was like we were just not wanting to use any substances anymore. How do I feel about all these young women doing OnlyFans? Well, if that's what they want to do, then that's what they want to do. Wow, year of sobriety. I'm not there yet, but who's counting, you know? I'm taking it day by day. I had a margarita on Friday last week and I was like, I'm done, you know? So now I'm officially like, I don't drink. My favorite place to live? I don't know that I have one. I really just love living in my van because then I can be anywhere. Like everywhere I am, I'm home. So awesome, JB. JB is sober too. I think it's a superpower. I think, and I'm really excited to see. They say it takes 90 days for your brain to like fully recalibrate, and I think it's a superpower. I think that the clarity that comes from being fully sober. Um, I actually ate Indian food yesterday. Nick, you should buy that domain. Buy it. Even if you just end up selling it later. Which would be the demanding product as per your understanding, which can be consumed by humans? I don't know what you mean. I love Indian food. How much it cost you to buy and build my van? It was about 225,000. It was a lot, and that doesn't include everything that's in the van. That was just the finished van. Talking about like my stuff. We can talk later today, Nick. I'm seeing your text come up while I'm on live. I'm my cousin, my little cousin. She's 18, but she's like my second cousin, so I call her my little cousin. She'll be home for lunch for about an hour, but then I'll be free from like 3 o'clock your time probably, so we can talk then, because then I won't have much time. Well, that's 1 o'clock, so I will have time. Yeah, I'll have plenty of time. We could talk for after that, because it's 1 o'clock my time. What countries are on your bucket list? Mexico, even though I've been through the airport and I've been to Cancun and Costa Maya and whatnot, but I'm gonna be taking my van through there. Costa Rica's on my bucket list. I just want to be there when it's hot, and it starts to get hot in March, so if I can get down there and get back before it starts getting hot, then that'll be good. I'm 37. But the van empty was like $88,000. It was a new van. Awesome. Okay, I'll call you, Nick. I'll go to India one day, but I'm probably going to do it like through a travel agent where they plan a tour. I'm not just out there by myself. Um, what do I think about the USA? Do I recommend that someone moves to the USA? Uh, I think there's definitely a lot of opportunity here. I've certainly found it. It is what you make it. It is what you make it. And if you're aware of all the poison that they put in the food and whatnot, if you're aware of those things and you can make different choices to stay away from the toxicity that is here, because it's most certainly real. Like import your flour, import your pasta if you're going to eat anything with gluten. Buy organics, grow your own stuff, or buy from farmers markets where you know where your food comes from. You have to be careful, but you have to be careful anywhere, right? And people ask me like, oh, you're gonna drive through Mexico by yourself? I'm like, I drive through USA by myself, and there's like a bunch of you know, not so savvy people that live in the USA. It's just, I also believe that, and call me delusional if you want, but I believe that I am here for a purpose and that I'm being divinely protected. And if it's my turn to go, it's my turn to go. I'm not afraid of dying. I don't want to, but I believe that I'm supported, and I don't need to be afraid. So I'm not going to just not go someplace because I'm afraid. I'm not afraid. I don't work. I don't know. I've never opened my own gym. I used to be a personal trainer. It is what you make it. PE teacher, you won't make very much money. I don't carry guns. I have a stun gun. Yeah, if you already have, Eugene, a sprinter, get to work, bro. Get to work. There's so many tutorials and stuff. You can make it happen. It'll be the best thing you ever do. There's a reason you have that sprinter. You don't just have that sprinter to have a sprinter. And is it a diesel sprinter? Because the diesel will get better with age. All right, I think I'm gonna hop off because my cousin's home and I don't want to ignore her while she's here. So I will see you guys later. Thanks for coming on. Follow me on TikTok too because I may go live on TikTok as well. Yeah, diesel. It's just gonna get better with age, man. Yeah, hope to see you guys again soon. Bye.